everyone, and welcome to Bushcraft Canada. Today we're going to be talking about survival bags. Not a bug-out bag or a large hiking backpack, but just the sort of stuff you take out small game hunting or on a small little walk through the forest just in case you got lost or something like that. Now, the first thing I keep in mind, not the first thing I keep in mind, but the first thing I'm going to be going over is food. In mine, I like to keep 3 Canadian military soldier fuel bars. Now these are basically just a regular energy bar with a lot more calories in it, designed for the army so our soldiers can go on those long treks with their body armor and everything on. So one of those will definitely get you through a hike. The second thing that I like to keep in there is 2 packs of Canadian Army ration crackers. There's nothing really special about these crackers. They're just 2 giant crackers in a packages. So there those are. Now another thing I like to keep in there in case those aren't enough is wheat snack bread. This is supposedly half a loaf of bread stuffed into one big piece. I'm not sure if that's correct, but whatever. Now one other thing I like to keep in there just to help me on if I'm low on energy, I can mix these in with my water bottle, is 2 Canadian Army ration carbohydrate beverage powders. These ones are orange flavored. They have, they're basically, they'll give you about as much energy as Gatorade will. Each pack will give you as much energy as a Gatorade will. Now, in case those aren't enough, just in case, those aren't enough and I get lost somewhere or something, I have one of the Canadian Army's main courses. This one is hash browns with bacon. These things can be eaten cold, or you can put them in a pot of boiling water to heat them up. I think in a survival situation, though, I just eat them cold. Now, just to help balance things out so it's not all Army ration food, and I'm actually going to get some vitamins and stuff, I pack a can of sardines with me, because these things are full of vitamins and oils and stuff that you'll need if you become lost or something like that. Now, moving on to more of the survival-y gear type stuff. One of the main things I like to carry is a survival tent. This one is supposed to be all element proof, and it's essentially just a big emergency blanket made into the shape of a tent. I'm not sure if this thing would be very comfortable to sleep in, but it'd beat dying from hypothermia, that's for sure. Another thing I never leave home without when I'm going camping is my survival kit. I'm not going to go through what exactly is in here in this video because that would take too long. I'll just make a separate video on this later on. So there's my survival kit. Another thing that you need to carry is whistles. I use Fox 40 Classics because they're really loud, so anyone within earshot's going to hear them and be able to hear you signaling for help and hopefully be able to find you. Plus they're good for just signaling other people and warning them about stuff if you understand the advanced whistling stuff. One more thing. I'm not sure how useful this thing would be, but it's essentially a flashlight, a thermostat that isn't on right now, a compass, a whistle, a magnifying glass, which could possibly be used for starting a fire, and a signaling mirror that could possibly be used for signaling an aircraft of your presence. Now another neat thing to carry, in case you're lost for a lot longer than you planned for and you need to hunt for some small food, is a slingshot. This one's just cheap marksman $12 one. Now the nice thing about a slingshot is they're really small and light and they can use rocks, so ammunition's plentiful. But another thing is, here in Canada and I'm up in the US and I'm pretty sure in the UK they don't have any legal restrictions on slingshots, like where they can be carried or what age, and I don't think anywhere has licenses you have to have for them. So they'll always be legal to carry regardless of location. Now moving on to more of the first aid stuff is I believe especially up here in Canada, you need some Absorbine Junior for mosquito bites, because mosquitoes here are just terrible. If you bring this with you camping, you'll never regret it, because there's nothing nicer than after a long hike through woods or a portage with a canoe than to set up your camp, climb into your tent, put some Absorbine Junior on all your bug bites, climb into your sleeping bag and go to sleep and wake up to find most of them gone and not itching anymore. Another thing I believe everyone should have is a moderately sized first aid kit. I'm not going to go over the exact contents of what's in here today, but I'll make, because that's again another video. But there's quite a bit of stuff in there. Now, going on to more of the, not so much first aid, but more hygiene portion of this is just, one of the things I like to carry is some chapstick. Because when you're out on the lake with a canoe, or on a long hike out in the sun, or if it's windy or something in winter, then your lips get dried out, and licking them only makes them worse, as I'm sure you know. So it's nice to be able to just put some chapstick on them and keep them from getting all dry and cracked. Another important thing I like to carry, sunscreen. Whether you're canoeing, backpacking, hunting, hiking, and it's sunny out, you don't want to get a sunburn, because those suck. So, carry some decent sunscreen with you. Another absolute necessity up in here in Canada, especially if you're going to the wilderness or canoeing close to shore, is mosquito repellent. I use Mosquito Shield 30% DEET. This stuff is amazing. It keeps them off of you, it's very effective, and it lasts for an extremely long time. Now, probably the most important thing I have in that one would be these two things. Toilet paper, which is used by everyone on the planet, so you don't have some in your bag, then you need to then go right now and find yourself some, put in there. And my entrenching tool. This entrenching tool can be used for digging holes to go to the washroom with. It can also be used, I've also used it to dig fire pits in drier areas so it didn't start a forest fire. And I'm sure if you had to in a dire situation, you could use it to dig and try and find water. Now, another really nice well, this isn't really a nice thing, this is more of an absolutely must-have, is knives. You need lots and lots of knives. These two are buck knives made in the USA, and this next one is a Morakanov fixed blade knife, which was made in Sweden. I prefer the Morakanov one for when I'm out camping, but these ones do just fine. Just one thing, this small pocket knife's just my everyday carry one. I sort of just carry it around with me all the time in case I ever need it for anything. And another nice thing to have would be a hatchet, a decent quality hatchet for chopping down trees, chopping firewood. And I'm sure there's other stuff you could use this thing for also. But so I've taken this. This one's pretty heavy. I don't remember which exact brand it is. I think it weighs like 3 pounds or something. But I've taken it on both winter and summer and canoe trips, and it hasn't weighed me down, and it's proven pretty useful on those trips. So I definitely recommend getting one. And now, the next thing is a machete. Not one of those cheap, flimsy jungle ones you can buy for $10 at Wholesale Sports or Cabela's at their bargain bins, but a decent quality, thick-bladed one designed for the bush, which can cut tree branches out of your way, help you clear camping spaces. Those things are always a must-have. And one more thing that sort of goes along with those things that I always take is a small pocket knife sharpener, one that'll just clip onto your keychain or go in your pocket. Because once your knife goes dull, it's essentially nothing more than a pointy piece of metal, and those are no good. Now, again, moving on to more of just nice things to have that aren't really vital. One of the first things on my list is a mosquito head net, because especially for canoeing. Because when you're portaging, and if you're in the front or the back, and you pull into shore. Say you're in the back, for instance, and your head's inside the canoe, you're holding the sides with your arms, making sure it doesn't fall on the person in front of you, and a cloud of mosquitoes flies into the canoe and all land on your face. What are you going to do? Are you going to drop the canoe on the person in front of you to swat them? Are you going to get the other person, put him down, put the whole canoe down, which won't make them very happy, so you can swat at mosquitoes? Are you going to toughen them out, which will suck later on? Or are you going to get yourself one of these, so they can try and bite you all they want, but they can't bite you. Because I recommend getting one of these. The next thing on my item, which is one of the most important, is duct tape. You can fix your sleeping bag. You can fix your canoe. You can fix your backpack, your tent, your tarp. You can basically fix anything with duct tape. And another really nice thing to have is a carabiner, a fairly decent sized one that's pretty tough. Because you can use this to hoist food into trees. You can use it to help tie stuff and other things. But the thing about carabiner is you never really need it until you really need it. And I've run into situations where I've thought, no, I won't need a carabiner on this trip. And I've gotten out there, and there's something that I've absolutely needed a carabiner for, but I didn't have one, which made the trip most unpleasant for me. Now, one more thing, I apologize for the menacing look of it, is a flashlight. This one, I have a smaller one that I normally keep in my bag, but it's being lent out currently. So this one is has a small carabiner so it can attach to your belt, which is nice. And the batteries fit in the top. I wouldn't normally carry this one because it weighs like 5 pounds, but it's the best I got at the moment, just in case I have to go somewhere. Another nice thing to have is a tin cup. These are good for making tea or hot chocolate or soup in. They're better than your water bottle, because if you use this thing, you're not singeing the bottom of your water bottle, therefore dirtying your water bottle holder or whatever you carry it in. Now, one other thing that's good, especially if you become lost, is journal. Don't worry about the case. That's just an old Canadian Army surplus case. But this is an old Canadian Army surplus journal. It's basically a notepad that you can stick into a big canvas case. And the nice thing about having a journal is, say you get lost or something, and God forbid you don't make it, you can write it down, everything that happened in your journal, and when people find your camp with your body there, they will have some idea what happened to you to tell your families and everything. So, I hope this video helped you out if you don't already have an adventure bag, or if you're thinking of starting one, or you were just thinking of adding stuff to yours. Now, just again, to clarify, in case you didn't hear this in the first bit, this is not a bug-out bag, and this is not a full-sized camping bag. And attempting to use them as such, would be a very, very foolish thing to do. So that is all I have to say in this video. I'll get right on, and I'll start making the videos about my first aid and survival kit right away. So, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.